everybody, we are at number 20. It's going to be kind of an ordinary, usual class that you're used to, nothing too hectic. I'm just reminding you what you need. If you want to do the wheel, which you do today, some people may need 2 books, 2 same height books, if they want to put their hands on those, only if those of you want to do that. And then also, I'm using a block, but maybe you can use a book for the shoulder one when we bring the arms up and down. Just, you need some weight rather than anything else. I'm sitting on a block, maybe you're sitting on a pillow. And if your hamstrings are tight, it's always good to have a strap nearby. So begin to center, feel that you're grounded, upright. Perhaps close your eyes for a moment just to feel that you elongate the spine, ground your sitting bones, drop your shoulders. Without moving your head forward or backwards. And just take the breath into the belly, to the side of your ribs, feel it at the back, and your crown, your toes. Just becoming aware of the energy flowing the whole of your body. The most important thing in yoga is to bring the mind and the body together, which is always energy and matter. It's not just exercise, it really is mindfulness, integrating those two. So feel it already in your breath, that you become aware of the energy flow in the whole of your body. Slight resistance at the back of your throat, so you arrive here feeling the body, quietening your mind. Where attention goes, energy follows. Another 3 breaths like that. Becoming part of that rhythmic life force, expanding and contracting. And then we're going to do a more energetic breath, where on the inhalation you bring your head and your chest up, it's like a back bend, and in the exhalation slightly forward bend. So on the inhalation always use those abdominals. So as you breathe in you go, making loose fist. Open your chest, lift, pause, and then go through your mouth. In through your nose. Quick sharp exhalation with the movement. Engage those abdominals on the inhalation. Another 4. And simply change your feet and just feel the energy flow in the whole of your body. Relax for a moment or 2. I'm going to do the head clasp, neck one. So you could put your fingertips or your hands on the floor. You can take your hands, fingers underneath your firm. Maybe you have to bend your elbow, my arms are quite short. And then bring your right arm slightly back against the right ear or slightly to the back. And it's a close fit. So you can press that forearm, your right forearm, against the left aspect of your skull. So the pressure is on the left side of your skull. Spread the fingers around your ear, wherever they land. Slowly keeping the spine long, tummy in. It's not very far. Move up and to the right, keeping the left shoulder down. And don't overdo it. Just breathe with that, feeling that extension on the left side of your neck. Left shoulder down, pressure on the left aspect of your skull. Try and relax into it. you might find you get some tapas, which means that there's a little bit of a generating of heat on that left side. If you don't overdo it, you can feel the activation. Another full breath. And then slowly come back. Might feel a bit kind of strange. The same out of your fingertips, flat hand on the floor or underneath your firm if you have one. Slightly to the back of your ear, close fit so that your left forearm presses on the right aspect of your skull. Might feel different, it feels quite different for me. Extend, and then up and to the left. Keeping the right shoulder down, so you're slowly beginning to open and extend the right side of your neck right into the shoulder. Stay with the breath. Don't force, keep the right shoulder down. Feel the shift, another 4 or 5 breaths. And come back. Keep your elbows in. And slowly from the crown, it's like somebody gently pulls you. Rotate, particularly your neck. Keep that regal upright position without lifting or dropping your chin. Do the same to the left. One more time to the right. Freeing your neck. Back to the left. Come back to center. And just extend into your flexed hands for a bit of a shoulder stretch, nerve stretch. Spread the fingers, bring the fingers towards you, but straighten the elbows, tummy in. Extend into the crown, drop your shoulders, straighten the elbows. And it's like you're pushing something away as you bring your fingers towards you. And as you do so, come up with your chest. And slowly begin to rotate your hands. That works right into the shoulders. Shoulder blades go further down. Upper arms, elbows. It's like a forearm stretch and a shoulder stretch. And then rotate the other way around. Put some effort into it as you come back and repeat it. Flexing your hands, fingers coming in, shoulders are down, and widen a bit more. Once again to the front. You can go a bit further. Last one, coming back. Forward. And then release. You may want to roll your shoulders once or twice. Perhaps just do an inverted stretch. And then we're going to use your book, or if you've got a block, needs to have some weight, and see if you can press your palms into it. I like to sit on my heels, and some people may want to put a pillow between the heels and the sitting bones, or you can stay cross-legged if your knees don't like that. Your palm against the book, or the block, whatever you've chosen. Make sure it has some weight. Tummy in. See if you can press into the block. Come up and extend. So your armpits forward, your elbows back. Try not to push your chest out like I'm doing now. Keep your ribs slightly back, particularly if you've got a sway back. And then come back down all the time you're breathing out. So it works your shoulders, it works your upper arms. Keep that whole body awareness as you move with your breathing tempo. Watch your ribs, they want to come up. Armpits down, you need the support of your latissimus dorsi. Tummy in. Your whole body supports your lower core, supports that lift. If you have a heart condition, it's not always so good to do those. With your arms lifted. I'm not aware of any of you having it. Moving with the breath. Can you hear my robin singing? It's hearts out. Hearts out. And then one more time. It works the whole arm region. So does the shoulder. And then we're going to do the hip stretch. Which for people who have very high knees, they're the only ones who, when you have the one lower leg parallel, can bring it in front. But even if you have fairly high knees, try and do it this way. But I know one or two of you can't. So then do the other one. So one way is just to come up and then press your knee down and bring your chest up, tummy in, shoulders back. Begin to work into the area where your femur moves into the hip joint. And if you can come forward and you feel it here, stop here. If you can go further, sometimes good to do it in stages. And as you breathe out, release a bit more. And if you can go easily forward and down, some of you can, then release immediately. Use your exhalations to surrender into the stretch. Sitting bones back, shoulders back, head released. Try not to force. Three more breaths. And of course the other way around. Either on or just below. Might feel different, definitely stiffer this side. And again, either do it like this, or come forward. And release in stages, sitting bones back, sitting chest forward, sorry. Finding that edge. Three more breaths. And then release your nerves. Simply shaking loosely. And do some circles. Point and flex. We're going to do what's called, it's kind of a root core one. So you come onto your back, interlace your hands behind your head. And either you do the eagle leg, which is a double one, bring your right inside of your left ankle. If you can't, then place it against, keeping your knees slightly bent, and then move your left foot onto the floor, a little bit in the center, a bit away. Keep your elbows as close to the floor. That's going to be your inhalation. And as you breathe out, you bring your elbows and your knee, upper knee toward each other, and your head and the chest up. Breathing in, release. Really release for a moment. Breathing out, contract. So move is the breath. Contract your lumbar region into the floor as you come up. Support your head if you need to. Do twice more this way. Getting to your core, your root core. And then if you want to be pedantic, put the other index finger on the top. Back and take the other leg around or against. Take your foot in the center, your right foot a little bit lower than you normally would. Exactly the same. Breathing in, release. Breathing out, contract and lift. Chin close to your collarbone notch. Nice deep breath. Opening and then contracting. Flattening your waist as you come up. Elbows close together as you come up. Three more times. And cross and do a nice strong inverted stretch. Put some effort into it. Lift your heels, flex your feet, grow an inch or two, and drop your arms on your feet. And allow your head to roll from side to side a few times. And then we're going to do a yin twist, which yin is always working with yin yoga, with the meridians, through the energy flow in your body. So the first side, you bring your knees up, you bring your right over your left. It's not like the other one, you get the knees bent like that, and you drop your legs to the left. You can put your left hand onto your ribs and you extend the right arm, roll your head slightly to the right, and then breathe. And as you breathe out, begin to release. If you don't feel it, maybe you need a bit higher or a bit further out. Over time, they tend to hold it quite long. Your shoulder and your arm, which are opened into this twist, as they pull, will release more and adjust. So just use your breath to drop into gravity, literally. There's no holding of core. And feel the subtle changes. Try and relax. You might find that you're actually holding quite a bit. So let go as you breathe out, gradually, more and more. If you want to, you could extend that arm. You can also bring it into your tummy or ribs. So you can become heavy and relaxed. Feel the connection of the body with the floor. And do another 10-12 breaths. Singing. Now we're going to do the other way around, so come back and put your left over your right. So you drop and really allow yourself to drop into it. And roll your head to the left. Now I can feel this left shoulder is much higher than my right one was. So it's going to take a bit of time to release it. So simply use your exhalation to let go. You can bring your right hand onto the top of your tummy or ribs. And observe the slow shift in your body. It can become quite a strong twist. Feeling it mainly on the left side. Once again, we're going to try for another 12 breaths. Last two. And slowly come back. Bring your knees to your chest. And just circle them together individually, massaging your lower back. Exploring the whole range of your lower back and the coccyx area to your waist. From left to right. For a moment, just hug your knees to your chest. We're going to come up into a buttock balance. So you may want to keep your knees bent, do it like that without falling back. Watch it, don't fall against anything behind you. And try and widen your feet, chest up, and begin to straighten your knees. And maybe pull a bit onto your toes. Breathe. Balance. It can be on your coccyx if you need to be. We're going to bring the heels together into a boat variation, a bit easier because you can now hold onto your feet. And then back into that wide-legged buttock balance, or bend your knees if you need to. Chest up. Reach into your heels. If you can, straighten your knees. Do it twice more. And then release into forward bend of your choice. And we're going to go into the back bend. You're going to do the locust, so you can make loose fists or flat hands and come onto your tummy with your fist in the right and left groin. Make sure it doesn't hurt you. I come onto your chin. You can even come onto your forehead. If you can, tighten the buttocks and lift both your legs. If not, then do alternating legs. I want you to try and, if you can, hold it for a while. So tighten the buttocks, release your shoulders, extend into your feet, and if you can, lift the thighs and keep your knees straight. Otherwise, alternate. One leg at a time. You don't have to tighten the buttocks. Watch that your shoulders are released on your chin or your forehead, or firm underneath your forehead. And finish your sequence if you're doing one leg at a time, and come back onto your heels and relax your shoulders, buttocks totally. We're going to do the reverse butterfly, so see if you can cross your ankles over, slowly drop down onto your chest, come onto the side of your head with your elbows bent, and then drop your feet. Make sure that your knees are as wide as possible. It's a slow one. Your sitting bones will come down and your hips will open more. The weight of your one foot on top of the other, if you have it that way, otherwise simply you soles your feet together, will slowly release you closer to the floor. So it's a passive one again. Take some time to kick in. Stay with the breath, breathe into the belly, allowing those thighs and hips to rotate. You can cross the ankles the other way around, come onto the other side of your face. And relax totally into it. Natural breath. Feeling the shift that might start kicking in now. go. Let gravity to do it for you. Or an opener. Now uncross your feet, bring your knees together and push yourself back into a child pose or Eastern praying position. And totally release. Maybe come into the child pose with your arms back. Release your shoulders. Release your neck. We're going to stand up. You're going to do chair into forward bend, and we're going to hold it for a few breaths. So knees, feet together. See if you can tuck in your tailbone, press your heels down, your thighs to your heels, lift your arm and your chest and drop your chin. Breathe. It's quite a strong, it's also called strong pose. And then release into a full forward bend. Bend your knees if it's easier. Pull your shoulders back and release your head. If you can, lift the thighs. Your feet centered and the knees together. As you come back into that chair, you reach for that chair halfway down, tucking your tailbone, lift your chest, straighten the elbows, arms up, drop your chin. Compress your thighs towards your heels and press your heels down. Tucking your tailbone if you've got to sway it back. Keep it going. And release into a forward bend. Draw your head and your trunk closer to your leg. Pull your shoulders wide. Back into chair, strong pose. Sitting bones to your heels, arms up. Breathe. Inner feet are down. I have my index finger pointing up. And totally release. Bend your knees if you need to. Drop your chin. Feel the back of your legs. And keep going, back into that chair. Reach for the heels. Your sitting bones. Press your thighs down. Extend the arms. Open those armpits. Straighten your elbows. Let go. Totally. Back into a strong pose. Compress the lower trunk and lift out of it to your upper trunk. Look down. Begin palms together. Breathe to the belly. Release. Fold your arms. Totally release. Let go. Come into an inverted stretch, extending, pressing down into the 4 points of your feet, to a side stretch to the right, and into a side stretch to the left. And come back to center. I'm going to do one of those bending knees back bends, so you have to balance and think, holding it on the inhalation for 3 breaths. So first the upright dancer, is your knee bent as you breathe in, and up, and then the fuller dancer the second time. So bend your knee, breathe in, pause for 3 counts. And come back as you breathe out to upright. Breathe in, and then hold it for 3 counts and make a fuller dancer. Push your back foot into your hand. Keep the front knee bent and then come back. We'll do it 3 times in a row. Upright dancer, bend your knee, hold for 3 counts. Come back on the exhalation. Inhalation, the fuller dancer. Push your back hand into your back foot and back. One more time. Looks easy, it's not. The bend knee makes you wobbly. Let's hold it for the 3 counts as you breathe in and come into the dancer. release. You want to do the left side, which for me is always the weaker side. So catch your foot, breathe in, bend the left knee and then extend into the upright dancer. And come back as you breathe out. To the fuller dancer, hold it for 3 counts as the front knee bend. Pushing your foot into your hand. Repeat. Whole body awareness, always abdominals engaged in those dances. Pull them back. And only go as far as you feel you can manage. Easy to fall in this one. Quite a balance, moving into a balance. And release, shake, we'll come into a forward bend, or both. We're going to do another sequence of 2 each. Upright dancer, full dancer. Starting again on the right leg. Fix your gaze, it may help. Pause for those 3 counts as you hold mindfully. Other side. Belly is on the left side, bending your knee. Always holding it for 3 counts on that inhalation. It always looks quite elegant. As you come out of it, release for a moment into a forward bend, release your lower back. Relax. You're going to do a wide-legged position once you've done your inverted stretch. Twist which you're going to hold, it's the down under as I call it. So your feet quite wide, parallel. Your left hand to your right foot or your knee or your thigh. Your right hand and your left waist, your palm facing out. So from the base of the spine, begin to rotate the trunk. So first the navel, the abdominals, and then the lower rib, the middle rib, collarbone. And then once you've got it right into the crown, you can bring your upper arm up. And work at it. Reach into your feet, rotate, feel the sitting bone, the crown, shoulder blades, breathe into the belly. Strong twist. Up and the same on the other side. Left hand in your right waist. So you can rotate first the abdominal, then the navel, and the lower middle, upper rib. Extend into the crown. Really rotate the full spine. And once you've got that, you can manage to keep it. Look up at your raised arm or hand. Breathe. Reach into the right foot as well. Feel your spine. Come into a wide-legged position. You can fold your arms, take it to the ankles will come onto your head. Bend your elbows backwards. And draw your trunk closer to the arch between your feet and reach into your feet. If you can rest on your head, then it's actually a bit easier. Now you're going to do a horse stance, but first heel toe your feet closer and shake your legs. So always your knees move out towards your ankles, like a martial art position, which is almost impossible. And then to the eagle arm position, one arm over the other. And so you can come onto your toes. You feel it in your thighs, pushing your knees out right onto your toes. Fix your gaze, draw the eagle arm towards your chest. Other way around. Again, the horse's stance. So first your heels on the floor. Once you're ready, so you can come onto your toes. Balance onto those toes. Pulling the elbows in. Once again, release into a wide-legged forward bend. Perhaps fold your arms so you can really relax for a moment, pulling your shoulders back. Dropping your chin. You'll toe your feet closer. Now, because we cannot do weights and balls and partner postures, we're focusing again on eyes closed sequence. And it's a simple one. Sun dance, coming up as you breathe in, down into forward bend as you breathe out. Step back into the dog with your head down as you breathe in, keeping your toes curled, Eastern praying position as you breathe out. As you breathe in, come forward into a dog with your head up, either knees on or off the floor. Back into a dog down as you breathe out, head to the floor. Step forward into forward bend, release your head, and then keep your arms down, brace your tummy muscles as you come back into Tadasana. Breathe in, close your eyes, come up if you know it. Forward bend as you breathe out. Step back with your right and your left foot into the dog with your head down, acute angle. And come into the Eastern praying position with your toes curled. Extend in both directions. Forward into the dog with your head up. Lift out of the shoulders. Back into a dog with your head down. Step forward into a forward bend. Release your trunk. Brace your tummy muscles, reach into your fingers, Tadasana. Come up as you breathe in, slightly back. Forward bend as you breathe out, bend your knees if you need to. Step back into a dog with your head down, trunk to your knees. Eastern praying position with your toes curled. Extend, forehead to the floor, spread the fingers. Dog with your head up, lift out of the shoulders, rotate the upper arms out. Back into a dog with your head down. Pull your heels and thighs back. Forward bend as you breathe in, release your head and trunk. And reach into your fingers into Tadasana, arms are down. Continue in your own way. It's your own breathing tempo. Stay with the breath, it's quite important. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Unless you get dizzy or you don't know it. But you'll learn it quickly. Keep your awareness, otherwise you don't know which way you're flowing. Feeling each posture in turn, becoming spacious and present with the breath. Keep it relaxed. It's not difficult, it's really about to flow.
embodying each posture, flowing with the breath. Feel how calming it becomes. Getting into a little bit of a trance. I'm going to do the 5 breaths for each dog stretch only. The others you flow on. So hold it for 5 breaths. Always armpits and hips toward each other, heels back, thighs back, head to the floor. And rotate those upper arms out. Press your inner hand down. Move through that Eastern plank position. Toes curled into 5 breaths in the dog with your head up. Lift out of the shoulders, press your palms back. Lift your knees, whole body awareness, tummy in. Back into a dog with your head down and see if you can work at it as you lengthen everything. Release your chin so your head comes closer to the floor. And move through the forward bend, back into Tadasana. Feel much more spacious and calm. So now we're going to do another flow, but eyes open. We're going to do the 3 warriors in a row. So start in a large position, bring your heels into each other and then extend the upper trunk, reach beyond your fingertips. Alert, centered. Active heels into the up-down warrior. Either look up or ahead, and from there we come into warrior number 3. You can do the eagle arm if it's difficult for your shoulders. You can have your palms together wide, rotate the back thigh in, and then come back. So a few breaths each. Start with the wide armed warrior, pull your heels in and burst the first and the second one. You're grounded, your knees aligned. Activate those heels toward each other. And slowly lift the back leg, rotate the thigh in. It might take a few steps. And see if you can find that horizontal position from inside out. Palms facing in. Or eagle arm if it's easier on your shoulders. So wide-armed warrior, reach into space. Press your heels in, center, breathe. Try not to push your knee in. Extend, feel that up-down dimension, inner thigh closer. You slowly lift into that warrior number 3. Takes quite a lot of force. Rotate the thigh in, find that horizontal position, keep your head between your upper arms. You need strength in your legs. Your heels. Totally alert and grounded. Control. You're finding that horizontal position. You rotate the back thigh in, your foot in. Extending. Taking a breath in between and see if you can repeat it. Heels in, reach beyond your fingers. Up-down dimension. Rotate the back thigh in. Slowly finding that horizontal position. Always pick out the dancers in this one. Moving into space, grounding your heels toward each other. Coming light into that warrior as you balance on the one leg and rotate the thigh. Palms together is always more difficult. And then come into a child pose or Eastern praying. Sit on your heels. It's nice to release your back, your shoulders, to allow your breast to settle, well deserved. We're going to move on to some headstand variations, some inversions now. So if you do those two chairs, then maybe you should bring them in now, like I showed you at the beginning. So with headstand variations, I would select two, at the most three. I'm just demonstrating. And the hair is always easiest for people, particularly if they don't like being on their head. So make sure you're on the crown. Take your index finger, thumb around each other, and if you can stay there. And this is the dolphin. You can either hang in there with your head above the floor, between your upper arms, interlacing the fingers, or you can do it dynamically. And then if you like doing and if you have a wall, it's always, I don't know, you can do a handstand. That frees your neck. You have to kick up hard enough, a little bit away from the wall or the skirting board with your fingers spread, and then simply kick up. Release your head. You can either look down or you can look straight ahead. I keep one foot against the wall and then the other a little bit away to try and balance. Strengthening for your arms and your neck is released, so you can practice that. I'm going to try the scorpion. I just use foam, not the strap now. The strap helps. See if you can press the elbows in, look at your foam or the floor or the skirting board even, and then kick up. And once you're there, might take a few times, try and keep the one foot against it and then bring the other foot a little bit away from the wall. It's a strong back bend, so don't do it if you have a back problem. And then see if you can balance. I seem to manage to balance a little bit with my feet together off the wall and then come down. So that's another one you can practice, those of you comfortable with it. And then there is the actual headstand, of course. Bring the elbows in. Some of you will have your hands on the floor and balance on your head. I prefer with my forearms on the floor. And then find a place to look at. Maybe bring your ribs slightly in, press into your elbows. Reach into your feet. It's always slightly wobbly, as you can see I'm wobbly. It's like the wall draws you. Take a deeper breath. You can stay there for a while. I'm coming down because I'm going to show you the bird, or remind you of the bird. You can also do the right angle against the wall, which I think you all know from the dog, if you head down. So make sure you have enough space between your head and your hands and between the two hands. It's supposed to be a triangle. And try and bring your knees on there. And then lift your feet, but it will be different for different proportions as long as you're on the crown. And share, it's like a tripod really. It can be quite comfortable. It's a good inversion. All the blood's going to your brain. So choose yours. You could even do the bird, or the crow rather, as well. Always release into a child pose when you've done your chosen two. Or like I said, the chairs, the headstand with your head between the chairs. So that your neck, your brain, blood pressure gets back to normal. So make sure you have enough time to release the postures. We're going to go on to back bend, and that is the Tibetan table. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. We do it from the sitting position, with your hands might point forward, some of you might point back. Lift, try and make a table. Lift the thighs, hips and your head back, and take your shoulders away from your ears, so you create more space in your neck, and keep your knees parallel and your feet centered. And then take a breath or two in between and you come back to upright, sitting. And repeat it, always hold in for 2 or 3 breaths. Keep the knees parallel, lift, shoulders away from your ears, elbows straight, mount of the big toe and the big toe itself firmly down. Take a break to the upright sitting position. Whole body awareness, breathe, lift high enough. And again. Try and release your head totally. Feet centered. Probably the last time. You can lift, shoulders away from your ears, knees parallel, elbows straight, press into your palms. And come into a forward bend. I know, I'm just doing it once more, sorry. Strengthen your shoulder region. It acts like quite a strong back bend. And now release into forward bend. Perhaps bend your knees. If you can take hold of your feet and then bring your sitting bones back, slowly releasing your chest forward. And if you can, release your head. Try and relax into it rather than force. This is like a counter releasing posture. You're going to do a bridge. So come onto your back. Some space for your arms. Keep your feet parallel. As you breathe in, bring your arms above your head. Palms facing up and lift as high as you can. Hips up and then your thighs touch your knee. Slowly come down, lifting out of your lower legs. Find the right position for your feet. Keep them parallel as you repeat it. As high as you can come. Chin down, head centered. Lifting that lower back. You're going to interlace your hands below you so you can wriggle more onto your shoulders so your chest comes up as well, a little bit more. Keep the mount of the big toe down, lift as high as you can. Definitely higher than the previous one. Now you can continue doing that. Those of you who can do the wheel can take your hands underneath your shoulders and come up. Feet a bit wider. Push up into your hands. Release your head. Breathe. Quite strong for the spine. It's quite a lovely one for the spine, but it could also hurt your lower back, so be careful. And I'm going to show you in a moment how to do it with your 2 books, unless you've got 2 blocks. It is always easier. Bring your knees to your chest. So you put the 2 books, 2 dictionaries at the same level, possible, blocks if you got them, and then put your hands with your palms facing up, your fingers against, make sure your hands are in the right position. And you can come up and after you have your feet out, eventually you want to have your feet more parallel. It's definitely easier than coming up straight away. I'm bringing my feet a bit more parallel. Release your neck. Really quite an amazing back bend if you think of it. and slowly come onto your head. The others can still do the bridge. And when you finish that, bring your knees to your chest and rock a few times from side to side. And as a counter stretch, either do the tortoise shell or do a forward bend, whichever you prefer. Allow your lower back to settle. A few more breaths. And then we're going to do a cow's head twist, a bit different than we normally do it. You try and really cross the one knee on top of the other and put pressure on your feet if you can. If not, just get used to the position. But if you can, put pressure. So you can rock in a twist from side to side. So you bring your shoulder to the inside of the left leg and then try it the other way around. And repeat that a few times. I put a lot of pressure on my feet so I can rotate more. It's about the rotation of the upper trunk away from the knee. Dynamically. Now we're going to come into forward bend. You slide your hands forward, stop where you feel it. If you can rest on the top thigh with your ribs, your chest, then bring your elbows close to the floor and release your head. But find your position. You should feel it in the top buttock of the top leg mainly. Breathe and let go. Other way around. And again, if you can't put your hands on the top foot or the instep, then just sit and get used to the position. Might be enough. You might even have to sit on a firm. Otherwise, do that rotation, firmly pressing onto your feet. That will pull the feet away from each other and give you a stronger stretch. Dynamically with the breath, try and get the shoulder on the inside of the opposite knee. And once again, we're going to come into the center. Stop where you feel it. Walk forward, sitting bones back. And if you can rest on the top thigh, do so and release into it. Use your exhalation to let go. Try not to force. Whole body awareness. Uncross. Check your legs. If you can, come into wide leg position. If your knee can't bend, then keep the wide leg position, otherwise bend your one foot. And we're going to do a side stretch. Either you have your forearm on the floor or you have your hand around the foot. It's really about rotating the upper trunk. The lower palm is facing up, either having it moving towards your toe or on the floor. Extend that upper thigh. Breathe. Keep rotating the upper trunk. Without dropping your ears, so your side muscles, latissimus dorsi, are really active. They pull to your waist. Chin stays slightly back. And then from there, come into forward bend over your right leg. So wherever you can manage, press your sitting bones back. Keep your toes pointing up, not falling down. And then release your head closer to your leg. Hands either side of your right leg. And release. Breathing, releasing. Stay with it. And then you're going to do it the other way around. So bend your right knee, unless you've got a knee problem. And you keep it straight. Sit flat. Either your palm is on the floor, or you take it to your big toe. Extend that upper side. Keep rotating so your arm is over your ear not in front of your face if you can help it. Draw those side muscles down to your waist. Keep your head aligned, so don't drop your ear to your shoulder. Breathe. Strong side stretch. If you can, straighten the leg that's straight. If you need to, bend the knee. Then once again, fold forward over your left leg. Always your sitting bones back, your chest forward. You can bring your elbows to the floor, do so. And if you feel it there, stop, toes pointing up. You can go further, you might find it's different this side. Use your exhalations to surrender into that resistance. Try not to push too much, but release rather. Whole body awareness, natural breath. And slowly come out of it. You do the wide-legged one. Sit on the foam if you need to. Pointing up as wide as you can take your arms in the center and release, or if you like, you can take hold of the feet or the heels. Press your sitting bones back and see how far you can come forward and down. Some of you might just want to put a foam underneath your forehead if you're quite close. It's about extending the spine, getting to the hamstring, the inner knees. Breathe. Whole body awareness. A few more breaths. And come up, bring your feet together. And for a moment, release. You won't stay there. I'm going to do a bit of an arm balance. So maybe the plank. Do any other one if you felt so inclined. Extend from the heel into the crown. Or do the synergy one where your upper back is slightly rounded. You can do the side plank and do the side plank. Either one foot on top of the other or next to each other. Other side. Balance, and then you can repeat that. You can do the crow. You can keep your toes on the floor, or you can do, it's different for everybody, so explore it. So you can balance on the upper arms, taking your heels, toes off the floor and craning forward. Sitting bones up. It feels like you're flying because you go a little bit up and down. Just end with a butterfly. Your own way. Releasing your head closer to your feet to the floor. Depends a bit on how far your feet are away from you. And drop your knees. Getting to those groins. Stronger than what you've done before. And then shake your legs. And you're going to go into relaxation. Sitting up if you can, but put on your socks. Okay, so make sure you have a support if you need it, or a pillow if you need it. You're going to do something that's called withdrawal of the senses, but in a different way than we normally do. Withdrawal of the senses is a step closer to meditation than yoga is. We normally do it blocking off the ears, closing the eyes, and then making that humming sound. That's quite a good one. But I'd like to try another one. It's the breath. So we're going to breathe into different parts of the body identifying the point, so it might be the big toe, and you'd take the breath into it, feel the particular point, and then take the breath out of it as you breathe out, and you're going to do it 3 times. They're often associated with mama points, with energy points, which are related to the energy flow, which are related to different organs in your body, which the East, particularly Chinese acupuncture, for instance, work with. So it's really directing the mind to particular points which are inside of the body. So with pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, takes you 1 step more in. So begin to just close your eyes and begin to simply take some deep yoga breaths, and make sure you're in a comfortable position. Simply close your eyes, become aware of your posture. Feel the breath, it should be effortless. Quietening your mind. And then simply follow the instructions. And if I ask you to breathe into your knees, for instance, then you need to breathe at the same time in both your knees. And that will be sometimes your heart, then of course you only breathe into your heart. So when there are 2 of something, you breathe into both of those points. So start by breathing into your big toes. Feel it and do it 3 times mindfully. Where your intention goes, energy follows. That's the principle here. Feel that big toe. And if you don't, well, you try and feel it. From there we move to the ankle. So in the center of your ankle, take your breath there, pinpoint it, feel it, and then withdraw the breath back, up. And do that twice more. Identifying the ankle, breathe into it and then release 3 times. They'll go slowly because some people will breathe a bit slower, so then you might have to take a breath in between. Then we move up to the mid-calf. Take your breath 3 times, both in your right and your left mid-calves. Then move to your knees. Breathe 3 times into your knees, really feeling the breath going in and the breath coming out. You're working with energy, with awareness. Then move up to the mid-thigh again 3 times. Both sides. Then we move into the groins, both sides. Nice deep, mindful breath, feeling the area to which you breathe and withdraw. I'm going to move to the perineum, base of your core, pelvic floor, and that's only 1 point, 3 times. Energizing that point. And then what's called the low belly, just above your pubis. Then breathe 3 times into your navel. Nice deep breath. Then breathe into your heart. Then into your armpit. Then go to your jugular notch, that hollow of your sternum. Breathe into it. Then the root of the tongue or your palate. Feel it. And take your awareness in the breath to the tip of your nose. And then the center of your eyes 3 times. And that bare space between the eyebrows or the glabella. Feel it. A little bit higher in the center of your forehead. And then finally the crown, the top of your head. And then quietly make yourself comfortable for total relaxation. Using a pillow if you need to, connect the thumb and the index finger as you lie down. Release your ankles, widen your feet, and allow your breath to settle in its natural, comfortable zone. Now, I haven't been playing chanting because I've quite consciously observed and heard and noticed from people that there's quite a lot of anxiety going around, even depression, and that the moods of people tend to swing more than they usually do in this long lockdown. And my own experience is, if I listen to Bach, who lived this quite extraordinary life in a sort of school, what do you call it, what do you call the school where people, sorry?
Boarding house.
Boarding house, sorry, I couldn't get a name. He was living in a boarding house with an extended family. A lot of his children died, his wife died. He was always having so much work. It's like never stopped. And in his music you can often hear some of the pain or the problems that he was working with. He expressed his emotions in it. But he always resolves it, comes to a place of acceptance and a wider kind of resolving, transcending what he feels. So when I'm in a more down mood or slightly depressed or have anxiety, which hasn't been very often, but when I have it, I usually play Bach. And I realize is that what he does. So I'm going to play a piece for you, which has definitely some extreme pain in it, but then he works with it, he feels it, he explores it, and he comes to a kind of resolution, an acceptance. And of course it's only there's 3 pieces in this particular, whatever it is, violin concerto. So I don't really come to the total resolution, it's only the first introduction of that particular theme. But I want you to hear that, how he does it. And that's what we need to do ourselves. When we have a particular emotion, we need to feel it, work with it, in order to resolve it. We can't just push it away. So begin to feel the floor underneath you, release deeper into it. Become aware of that spaciousness that you inhabit within and around you. Transcend the busy mind to that witness state. You simply let go of everything and connect with that I am that I am, that deeper sense of self. Resting in that state of wholeness, divinity, quietude. To allow your mind to flow with the music in harmony.
slowly bring yourself back to the sensations in your body. And to feel the floor, the mat against the back. Move your toes and your fingers. And open your eyes. Maybe roll onto your side. And bring your knees to your chest and circle them. And take a nice deep breath or two before you come up into a sitting position. I hope you enjoyed the versions in this class. I hope you could hear what I suggested about the resolution and acceptance of the emotion in Bach's music, which of course continues in this was only the first of 3 before it's complete, so it's not altogether arrived at yet, but you could begin to feel it. This week we have we hope, well we must, because the lockdown is supposed to be until Sunday, so we hope to hear a little bit more clearly what is happening in the next months, so we can make decisions. It's going to rain in the weekend, which may mean that some of you can, or have done the practice this weekend. Have a good week. Namaste.